First off, what are your guys' names for the viewers?
Pam?
And Grant Hooker.
And Grant Hooker, your grandmother or?
My grandmother made what we call a beaver tail. When I was growing up. We would sit around the table. She'd make them usually on baking day. She'd save some of the dough from whole wheat, cracked wheat recipe that she had, and the next day she'd hand stretch them and cook them, and we'd sit around and eat 4 or 5 at a time.
Okay, and I'm assuming the recipe has changed throughout its...
A little bit. The basics are the same.
Okay. And I think the question everyone's asking is, how did a family recipe turn out into a franchise?
Well, one sale at a time.
Right.
I mean, like, what started the selling of it?
Well, we first sold a beaver tail rather than just cook them for friends, dinner guests. We sold it at the Killaloo Craft and Community Fair, which is about 6 miles as a crow would fly from where we are.
That way.
Is it?
Yeah, it's, yeah, I used to live in that area. I actually used to live in Old Killaloo, but
Right.
this video is not about me,
Anyway.
it's about...
Yep, and people went nuts for them, and at that time I was building log houses in this area using a chainsaw every day, and I found it much more pleasurable and safe to use tongs and just cook beaver tails.
Instead of
So
chainsaw.
we rolled the dice and got a location in Ottawa, and that started to grow from there.
All right, so basically what you're saying is your grandmother put Killaloo on the map, or
Yeah,
at least,
could say that.
or at least an area of it. But when did you realize, like, for you personally, when were you like, okay, yeah, this thing is going everywhere now?
Well, we had a lot of people, once we were 2 or 3 or 4 years in business in Ottawa, that asked if we were selling franchises, and we were not. But about 6, 7 years after being in business, we decided to expand. We went to Montreal and had some good luck there, and people just love beaver tails, and they're unique. Can't get them everywhere. And so I knew it could be a big thing when I found the right people to grow it.
Okay, and sort of an interesting question. Did you know there was a beaver tail kiosk down in Epcot at Disney?
Of course, I was the one that they contacted when they wanted to, put beaver tails in
Disney
Epcot.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney called.
And sadly, the kiosk is no longer there,
That's
but...
right. They restructured the Canadian Pavilion.
But it's amazing that a small town pastry actually made its way all the way down to Florida.
Well, actually, speaking of actually, when I was down there in Orlando for the opening of that little kiosk in Epcot, and I saw on the menu blade Killaloo Sunrise, I thought about this village right here and what it had meant to us when we first moved up here, and the people of this village, instead of turning their nose up at the outsiders, which we were, they welcomed us. They were interested, and they watched us as we learned how to live in, a Killaloo winter and this kind of rural life. So, the thought of seeing the name Killaloo in Disney, that was a real touching high point of my life.
And has anyone ever asked you, like, I've gotten questions about it before when I say I'm from Killaloo, and they're like, oh, like the Beaver Tail place. Do you then explain where Killaloo is and how the Beaver Tails all started, or were you just like, yeah, it's just a small town you used to live?
It takes a lot of time to do that, so I don't have a lot of time.
It's just like, long story short, small town you used to live in, that's where it started.
Yeah, this was our base, Killaloo. We lived in the woods, as did
And
all
we still
these.
do.
Yeah, all these people that helped us put together that fair where we sold beaver tails.
Okay. Also, for those who really would like a beaver tail but just don't want to pay over $10, where would be a good spot to get it?
You won't pay over $10 for a beaver tail, I don't think, but they're certainly more than when we first started 42 years ago. I think they were 90 cents at that time. But well, the only place you can get a beaver tail is here.
And
There's 165 locations, most of them across Canada.
okay, but the best place to enjoy a beaver tail would be its hometown.
This is very nice right here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And there's a couple of little beavers that live in this river.
I don't think anymore, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
they were here a couple of days ago, they said.
I must have missed it. Anyways, I do. We're almost at the 5:50 mark, so I'm gonna wrap here. And thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, and I do hope the Beaver Tails stays around for many years to come.
We do too.
And
Thank you.
bye. And from me personally, guys, as a Killouian,
Okay.
Beaver Tail is absolutely amazing. Pam,
Bye-bye.
Grant, thank you. Have a good day. And guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I know I'm the cosplaying alchemist, but I do some random weird stuff, and this was one of them.